A quick reaction to Real Madrid versus RB Leipzig.
I tell you what, let's take you over to Guillem Balaguer, who was in Madrid for us tonight, was at the Bernabeu watching the game against Leipzig, and just checking in on your thoughts and how you saw that game, Guillem.
Well, I think the first 45 minutes were actually a mistake of Ancelotti, and I'll ask him that, because 4 players were played in different positions to the usual ones, and what you got was a Real Madrid that could not link. They didn't know what they were doing. Players weren't sure of their roles, and he realized that because he corrected it at halftime, put Rodrigo in, and then it was a better Real Madrid for a few minutes. But the way that RB Leipzig played, with that pressure high, with that quick combinations, with energy, Real Madrid just couldn't beat. It was only at the end that Real Madrid had chances when RB Leipzig put everything in. Really difficult game for Real Madrid today.
Honestly, Guillem kind of summarized pretty well, because today's performance by Real Madrid, none of the Madrid fans wants to remember this game. It could be the worst game by Real Madrid this season, hands down.
So, should we talk about that game, Real Madrid against Leipzig? It was an interesting one. Not quite the game that I always think of Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, at home, Champions League pedigree that they have. I expect them to go out there and kind of blow other teams away. It was definitely not the case, Michah.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that. I think it's what we've come to expect with such a good team. We mentioned before, with Real Madrid, they have that presence, they have that quality. But sometimes you just got to give credit to the other team. Jamie mentioned it before the game, how they press and how they was going to break through the lines, and they did exactly that. And it, had a few chances in the first half, Kate.
So when Madrid plays at home, what do you expect? Exciting, enjoyable football, right? For neutral fans, for Madrid fans, for all over the football fans. But today, that's not the case. Today, the way the team was set up, it seems that we just played for a draw. We just wanted to have a draw so that we can go to the next round. That's it. But is that Real Madrid DNA? This Madrid is not known for that. And for me, this draw feels like a loss, because we were outplayed in every respect of tactical battles. Against RB Leipzig, I'm not talking about top team like Man City or even Arsenal. Think about, if we play like this against those teams, we'll be smashed.
Mentioned that before the game, and that's just what they lack. They lack that little bit of composure, quality in the final third, because in terms of how the team was set up, how disciplined they were tactically, everything, they were better than Real Madrid.
Let's say
Absolutely, 100% agreed.
They should have been. If you again go back to the same thing, they should have won in the first leg. They should, but you should. You can win a lot of things. They lost.
Remember when we came into the knockout stages and we first started this part of the competition, Real Madrid were listed as one of the favourites for the competition, right? On the back of that...
I think someone said they were the best team in Europe.
Who said that?
Me.
Guillem said that.
Oh.
Why is Guillem taking strays and he's not even online?
Just because Real Madrid is playing poor games last few matches, it doesn't mean they became super poor again, right? There is still one of the best team in Europe. That's undoubtedly true.
Guillem, let's go over to that.
That was hard.
Yeah, we suffered a lot, and they played well and we played bad. Simple.
So it was a Real Madrid that was thinking of the first leg result. Is that why it took the first half a while for you to take off?
I don't think we were thinking about the first game. No, we were just sloppy. We were slow, zero intensity. We didn't get in the challenges, and in the Champions League, you can get punished for this.
Honestly, Rudiger is just on point. Like, when you talk about our performance today, we had zero intensity, we had zero pressing.
There is no passion, there is no vision, there is no aggression.
None of the players felt like they wanted to play football today. Now, you can argue it's the problem with this structure, it's the way we started, the lineup is a big problem, but that's important. But they also, you have to understand that these players are talented, right? No matter who plays, they still have to play 100%. Despite, there was some mistake in terms of our tactical approach, like how we set up the team, this performance still is not acceptable.
I can imagine you getting to the changing room and saying those words, but much louder. Come on, guys, no?
No, like at the end of the day, you have to always try to keep your calm, of course, but warning and yeah. But you don't need to lose your head.
And that's what happened in the second half. You tried to control matters, but you were getting deeper and deeper and deeper because RB Leipzig did really good game.
No. They did well, as I said. They pressed us behind. They made us stay behind, and yeah, we didn't find the right answer today.
So is that the lesson? What's the lesson today? If you want to take
the lesson is that you cannot start and finish a match like that in the Champions League. You have to be switched on 90 minutes and plus.
So the biggest lesson from today's match is that you cannot play like this in Champions League, especially against bigger opponents. Second, you cannot play this much defensive. Remember, back in when we won the Champions League, whenever we lost against PSG first leg, we were so defensive. Today also same. We were so defensive. Whenever we play so defensive, even last season against Man City, right? Second leg, we were so defensive. That's the reason we lost. When Real Madrid plays attacking football, they play good. Look at the performance against Liverpool. We played superb because we played attacking football. When you have so much talent in this team, you just can't play defensive football. Every time Real Madrid plays defensive, they suffer. And today is not exception.
Interesting. I guess one of my questions would be, he talked about you can't start and finish a game like that. You have to be switched on. Did you think it was a focus thing for Real Madrid, or did you think it was more a tactical approach that you didn't fully understand or agree with in that first half?
Usually in the league or during a run in the Champions League, Jamie can tell you that, Micah can tell you that, you can have a tie or a game where you get away with it.
Yeah.
Massively. We all know the run of the year that they won the Champions League in Paris. The run was magnificent. It was just crazy, but they didn't concede that many opportunities. That was, home and away. It can happen. Can it happen again? No, they went through. So hopefully for them, it won't happen again. That can happen to any team in the world. What I'm saying is what I like with Rudiger there. He didn't shy away. They were better. We were not good. Let's move on. We went through. We have to rectify a couple of stuff, but it's not going to change anything of who they are. Tonight, and at their place also in Germany, they were not good. As simple as that. But big teams manage to go through when they are not good.
So the last point by Henry is a big one. The point is that you can have one or two bad games, but can we still go through? That's the main point. And eventually we have gone through the next round. Hopefully we don't play this miserable football again.
I think that summed up, when you think of managers, you think of Carlo Ancelotti, the most successful manager we've seen in this competition, but he's not a manager who has a sort of a defined playing style of this is what his team do. He's like a pragmatic coach in that he'll play whatever the game is or whatever the situation is. So they go into the game, they're winning. So we say, okay, even though we're Real Madrid, we're going to come here and going to play almost without a striker. So we say it's not really the Real Madrid way, but when you think of Carlo Ancelotti, he probably will attack in a certain game, or we'll see them maybe try and play counter-attack. He's almost a little bit old-fashioned in that maybe some like the managers that we had. Now when you see managers today, it's like we always play the same way, no matter who the opposition is, no matter whether we're home or away. This is our style, this is our imprint on the game. But Ancelotti's different from that, but it works for him.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'd say, you can play pragmatic football. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can still play attacking football with pragmatic football, right? For example, today, when we were defending, when we had that counter-attack opportunities, did we exploit those opportunities? Not at all. We did not have any chance for counter-attack. And it's because whenever we had the opportunity for a counter-attack, we did stupid mistakes. Mistakes that most of these players don't commit. Today, I don't know why. Maybe they didn't sleep well. Maybe they were just complacent. That's what they'll just walk through.
Performance still be heavily criticised.
I think so, especially the first half. I think they come also, Jamie, from a tough time at Mestalla against Valencia. But I was like, even if Bellingham turns here, I mean,
who's he playing to?
Who?
Yeah.
Who does he play the ball to? So now we're gonna move on, obviously, from this, hopefully.
So there's been big issues for Real Madrid for the last few matches. There's no one in the middle. Like, there's no one you can pass. So when you don't play center forward or number 9, other players have to make a false 9 position, right? It could be players from the right side. It could be players from the left wing. Someone have to make a run in the middle. Because that's the most important in football, right? Someone have to make a run so that someone give them a ball and they can do something. As a result, opposition defenders don't have to think about any player. They don't have to mark anyone. So what they can do? They can do pressing to midfield, and that gives them some advantage over your team.
I'm going to go back to now. Look at the difference. Striker and striker here. Bellingham comes alive when he can play between the lines. Rodrigo, Vinicius Junior. Now, we saw a tiny bit more the Real Madrid that we like to see, and Bellingham now running and being able to pass the ball to players out wide. And, okay, he took a knock here, but on that little cross, now that you're going to see, striker, they had to go deep. Now he's making his usual run in the box. And if that ball wasn't cleared properly, who scores? Him. That's the Real Madrid that I've seen since the beginning of the season. And now I want to show you something which is very important. Again, Bellingham runs with an option of running in front of him. Now have a look. Will Orban's going to have to look one time, two times. Where is he? Was just magnificent, and the finishing of Vinicius after was just sublime.
So as Henry explained really well for Real Madrid's goal, but one thing that I want to add is that look at when Bellingham was passing, he wasn't passing to Vinicius. He was looking for that space so that Vinicius can run to that space and then he can do a good finish. And I also have to say that finish by Vinicius, sublime, simply sublime. And honestly, this is the type of transition who should be doing all the matches, but somehow it was missing.
Actually, Thierry, obviously Ancelotti knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Why would he set up like that in the first half?
I will be honest with you. I was surprised when I saw that the four midfielders, I think he was worried about the intensity and how they are really dense inside and they were going to counter. But I'm thinking Real Madrid, I'm thinking you at home, you already 1-0. We all know that it happened when they beat Ajax 2-1, they lost 4-1. Ancelotti wasn't the manager, but I will give Jamie, some credit with what he said, because Ancelotti plays the situation and the moment at times. You understand what I mean? He must have thought, okay, we 1-0 up, we're going to have our guy on the outside, Bellingham coming in. When they're going to try to block us here, we're going to go on the outside. It didn't work. You saw who ended up attacking Camavinga, Ferland Mendy, and Carragher. But what I like with Ancelotti, he's not stubborn. It didn't work. Let's switch it.
He adapted.
Okay, the last discussion points by Michah and Henry is the biggest talking point today. Okay, let's discuss why Carlo Ancelotti started this defensive lineup. Well, that's pretty obvious. Carlo wanted to have more control, right? In fact, when I saw the lineup, a lot of social media, like Madrid fans, weren't happy. That's where's Rodrigo? Me, when I saw that, okay, it's not that bad lineup. Maybe we'll have more structure. Maybe we'll have more control. Maybe we'll have more pressing. Here's the issue. It's not the personnel. It's the way we played. We could still play better football with the same personnel who started this lineup. The biggest mistake we did is that playing Fede in the front as a right winger. Don't forget, in this team, what the most core player, what the most important engine in this team is Fede Valverde. The only place he can play in this team is midfield. This midfield needs one player 100% all the time. Is Fede Valverde. So whenever Fede is not playing, because Fede is a player who defends, who attacks, who controls the game like Cruz. So when he's out of position, the whole chemistry of the team is spoiled, is gone. So if you argue that it's because Camavinga and Tchouaméni started together, that's why we play so poor, in my opinion, that's not necessarily the case. For me, the main reason is Fede is playing in the wrong position. Alongside with that, Kama's performance. Okay, Kama has been in insane form, like this season. Today, probably this could be Kama's worst performance this season with us. The way Kama played today, he looked totally clueless. Like he seems he doesn't know what he's doing. He was indecisive defending. He was indecisive in marking. He was indecisive in giving a good pass. So in my opinion, in hindsight, I think what we could have done, play Fede Valverde at the midfield, where he likes to play, where he's best at. Like Fede in the right side, and then you have Tchouaméni in the middle, and Cruz on the left side. Play Camavinga a little bit in the front, so that he can do more pressing. Being said that, as Henry already pointed out, yes, Carlo did a mistake, but he also acknowledged that mistake. That, okay, we have to change it. And I'm glad that he changed at halftime. The only thing I'd change, maybe instead we should have brought out Brahim Diaz, because that's the guy who scored last match against RBL. So he's a player in form. So I don't understand, why don't we play more Brahim, who is in form, rather than a player who is a little bit off form in last few matches. Another point I like to add is that when Modric came in to replace Kroos, I thought we were playing much better football. Our attack was much smooth. It felt like when Kroos was playing, who was also not playing good today, right? But it felt like when that team was playing, it felt like we were so disconnected. It felt this team lacks chemistry. This team did not play together. When Modric came in, it felt like he glued all the players together and we were playing much better attacking-wise. Anyway, performance-wise, as you can see, I'm not satisfied at all. It was full of individual mistakes by the coach, by individual players. I mean, I can't think of any single player who played 100% of their caliber or their performance. Let me know, what did you think about our performance today in the comment section below.